Well, here we are. It is July 3rd, the eve of the 4th of July. It's Friday, and this is the weekly video. And I don't know about all you folks, but here in Gloucester, they are really ramping up around here for the 4th of July. They do every year. Our neighborhood is sort of mecca for the 4th of July folks on the island here. We have a Horribles parade coming that they basically commandeer illegally every year. They block off the state road, Route 127 around Cape Ann, and they close it off. Basically, the locals just close the road, and tourists get trapped, and they have to either get out and join the Horribles parade or go back around the other way and go a half an hour out of their way to get back out of here. It's pretty crazy. And then we have a huge bonfire down in the cove later on. They pile up wood pallets to about 4 stories high. You can see it for 50 miles. It's a giant thing, and the town keeps saying you can't do it, but every year we do it, and nobody says anything. And there's a lot of drinking and fireworks and so forth. And there's a neighbor over there who owns a very large sneaker company that you all are aware of, and he supplies the fireworks. I don't know where he gets them, but they come up out of Florida or someplace, and he fires them off from his front lawn over the bay. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. My wife is out right now picking up a cooler full of 3-pound lobsters, and our street will basically be closed. It's a dead end street, ends at the ocean, and everybody on the street has guests for tomorrow, so there will not be a parking spot anywhere around here. And people pull their grills out into their driveways, into the front, onto the street. Kids will be out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. 4th of July is huge thing around here. They celebrate the birthday of the country every year. There's a lot of American flags flying, and it's a lot of fun. We have a great time, and we're looking forward to it. It's been going on. We've been here for 25 years, and every year it's been the same, and I hope you're doing something where you are as well. All right. So that said, the antique market is very quiet right now. As I said last week, there's not a lot going on, and there won't be until we get through the month of August. There's a number of sales coming up in July that they're all anxious to close out. We talked about the Casa Sykes sale in a video yesterday of Ming Ceramics. There's rather interesting pieces in there if you're a blue and white buyer. There's a sale coming up in a few weeks down at Eldred's on Cape Cod that's got some wonderful things in it. And there's a few sales, but so far for the month of August, I don't see a heck of a lot coming down the pike. And I don't think there will be. There never is in August, except here in New England, we'll have some estate sales. Maybe Merrill's up in New Hampshire or Smith's or these places will have some sales, and they're worth going to. But the rest of the country will get very quiet, I think, for a while. And of course, the EU basically goes into sleep mode for the month of August because they all take the month off. So that's that. So here we are. But there's some things to talk about today. This isn't going to be a long video, but we're just going to take a look at some of the things that are coming up. Just as a reminder, next week at Brunk's, closes on July 9th. There's a sale. There's a number of good things in here. This is one lot that actually caught my eye. I don't know if many of you have noticed it. It's got about 26 people watching it. These two plates. And the one on the left is a very nice Femi Bear Kung Shi plate that's been put in this. I don't like the frame around it. I think it's a bit over the top. It's a 20th century frame that somebody mounted, probably some interior decorator's idea of what taste looks like. I don't think it's a good thing. If I were to buy these two plates, I'd strip the frame off of it immediately and just throw them in the wood pile. But the plate on the left is a nice one, and both of them measure about 14 inches in diameter for the porcelain alone. I asked Brunk's, I said, how wide are the plates, excluding the horrible frames? And they said around 14 and a half inches each. So on the left, you have this very nice Kung Shi dish, and it looks to be in good shape. They have some photos of the back. I don't see any cracks in it. And then on the right is this very nice late 17th, early 18th century Japanese amari dish. So if you're a Japanese amari buyer, you might want to look at this. This could be a good deal. You could buy the lot, and if you want, if you're a Chinese collector, buy the lot and sell the Japanese piece to get back probably a good chunk of your money. I think I don't know how they'll do. They may do. Somebody that wants something with a lot of gold on it, maybe they'll pay a lot of money for it. But I don't know. Right now, the estimate is just $800 to $1,200 with a $400 opening bid, which I think is very reasonable for the both of them. But they're nice porcelains. The frames, as I said, I think are pretty horrific. Pretty tasteless looking things. And then this is coming up at Oriental Auctions on the 7th over in the Netherlands. They're having a sale. They've got a few things. They've got some very suspicious looking things in their sales, as they always do. But this is a nice bronze. It's a mid 17th century bronze, probably early Kangxi period, but very nice surface on this. This is a wonderful looking incense burner. And it's complete. It looks to be in very good condition, and it has a completely, what appears to be a completely undisturbed original surface, which makes it very interesting. And I like the theme on it here. It's a dog coming in from the left and a dragon coming in from the right. And then on the top, of course, are dragons swarming over it, amongst in the clouds and so forth. And then you have this nice big cloud finial on top. It's a good looking bronze. The estimate is very reasonable, 800 to 1,100 euros. This should bring $2,500 to $3,500. It's a very nice one. Right now, I'm the only bidder watching this. All right, I put this on my watch list a week ago, so I think attendance is going to be pretty light at this auction from what I'm seeing. So if unless everybody's going to bid through the website, which they never do, I would check out the Oriental Art Auction. Let's see, the date of the sale is July 7th, or Oriental Arts in the Netherlands. This will probably sell for the opening price. The way it looks right now, I don't see any competition for it, so it's worth looking at. There's some other things, but there's also some pieces in there you want to be really careful about. They are fairly indiscriminate when they put things in their sales, and they do sell copies from time to time. All right, now back to Bronx next week on the 9th. Is this sale, the one that had these Chinese porcelains in it? We covered them last week, but this is just a reminder if you didn't see it. There's this thing, this very nice Diashai, they call them Empress Dowager pieces. But this looks like a completely legitimate one. It's got a lot of watches, not surprisingly. It went from about 20 watches a week or so ago. Now it has 84 watches. But it's a very interesting pair, and I think it's going to go well beyond the estimate. The estimate is just $1,000 to $2,000, and as we've seen in the past, there have been a couple of sales of these pieces with this pattern on it and this grisaille decoration with the very, very well-known yellow ground from the period late 19th century that have done awfully well. You know, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for these pieces. So we'll see how this does, but don't be surprised if this takes off. It may not, though, because the market's been kind of quiet lately. As we talked about last week, there were some real holes in the Chinese art market. So right now, we may be heading into a period that's very good for collectors to buy things for a while anyway. So we'll see. This will sort of be a test of that market. And there's some other pieces in the sale as well that look pretty good. This is in the sale, and this has apparently no reserve on it at all. This is also at Bronx. This is no, this is at Heritage. Excuse me. Heritage Auction says this. It's a Chinese export famille rose covered wall pocket. It's not a wall pocket actually. It's a watch keep. Wall pockets are flat on the back. This thing is not flat on the back. There's a picture of the bottom of it. I don't know why they called it a wall pocket. There it is. This is a watch pocket. I think they just mistyped it maybe. Didn't they call it a wall pocket? Famille rose. Oh, pocket watch. Okay, pocket watch holder. I thought it said pocket wall. Wall pocket. Okay, never mind. Forget everything I just said. They got it right. It's a nice one though, and these in the last few years have not bringing the money they used to bring. These things used to sell. You know, if you went to the East Side show or any of the good shows in New York, they would sell these watch keeps for $3,500 to $5,500. The really high end dealers would sell them for even more at times. This is a nice one. It looks to be in quite good shape. It's 18th century. If you have your grandfather's pocket watch, you might want to think about buying that. You could display the watch inside this. It's very attractive. The estimate is just $800 to $1,200 with a $35 opening bid. And then over to this. This is coming up now. This is back at Bronx again. They were so quiet for a while. They weren't doing much, and all of a sudden they've got all these sales coming in. They've got this coming up, and I'm only pointing this out because there seems to be some interest in American furniture. This is a very interesting sort of mid-Atlantic era federal cylinder or drop front desk here. All right, it's a cylinder desk. This goes up as one unit into the top. It opens up, and it's got this very nice set of drawers at the top, beautifully inlaid, nice looking splayed feet, made around 1800 to 1815, somewhere in there. Very fine mahogany graining on this cover here on the lid. You can see it. It's a beautiful piece of furniture. The estimate's only $1,000 to $2,000. And we'll see how it does. It's got 30 people watching it, but we're really going to start watching the American and the what they call brown furniture. For about the last 20 years, the brown furniture, nobody wanted it. I think people are now starting to recognize, some of this woodwork, this wooden furniture is beautiful stuff. Beautiful color, beautiful warmth, beautiful quality. This is, of course, all handmade, all bench made, back, probably 30 years after 30 years after the revolution here in this country. This is a very good example. They're just calling it mid-Atlantic states. Oh, here it is, probably Baltimore. Okay, that sounds about right. The design is right for that. It's a good looking piece of furniture. And then there's this very nice mahogany federal period, American classical period card table, beautifully done. A lot of French influence on these. There were French cabinet makers that came over at the beginning of the 19th century and opened workshops in the Mid-Atlantic area, especially, and in New York. There were a number of famous ones, and they made this kind of furniture became very, very, very popular because the United States was very close to France at that time. People forget that the French were instrumental in helping us win the revolution against the Brits. This is a very, very attractive piece of furniture, estimated at just $400 to $600 with a $200 opening bid. And then over to this. This is coming up at Aqaba on July 14th. I've had 4 inquiries about this piece of porcelain, and it's not porcelain actually; it's pottery. It's like a satsuma material, but the enamel decoration on it is extremely attractive. And this is a fairly large dish. It measures 18 3/4 inches in diameter. So this is not a small thing. This is a great big piece of pottery, but it's beautifully decorated. I love the decoration on this. I love the use of how they applied the blue, the water, the people in the boat in the foreground, this expanding landscape going off into the back, pine trees coming off the tops. It's visually a very, very successful piece of porcelain. And then they have this sort of buhl red, as it's known, trim here set up in ruyi heads going around the outer edges. It is not signed. It's not signed at all, but very, very attractive. Nice detail. If you're a Japanese ceramic buyer, you really want to look at this. It's only got 16 people on it. It's only got one bid, and the bid is for $100. It should do a lot better than that. So we'll see. But it's atypical and it's not signed, so you may get a bargain. Who knows? You don't know. All right, and then over to this. This is coming up at Freeman's. We're going to look at this piece of furniture. This is a Dutch chest, probably made during the early to mid 19th century. It's based on an 18th century form, so it's sort of a revival piece, but it's very attractive. And this is the kind of thing that I think the people with some wherewithal that actually have some taste, because there aren't a lot of people with money and taste at the same time. It's always a decorator once said to me, she said, I'd rather have somebody with a modest budget but great taste than somebody with a lot of money and no taste. And this is something for somebody that has a pretty good eye, I think. It's a beautiful looking piece of furniture with this sort of repeat serpentine sort of lobed front on it. This drop skirt across the bottom. These are ball and cloth feet. It's beautifully done. Wonderful wood selection. Very elegant, thin top with an under molding to it. It's a beautiful piece of furniture. The estimate is for nothing, $1,000 to $1,500. That's a hell of a nice looking piece of furniture. And it measures 40 inches tall, 49 inches wide, 27 inches deep. So it's substantial in size. But you could put this thing anywhere. You could put it in a hallway, put it in a bedroom, put it in a den, you store things in it. It's a great looking piece of furniture. All right, and then over to this. This is coming up also at Freeman's. Has got a lot of sales coming up. I think they're cleaning out their closets. This is coming up on July 10th at Freeman's. It's a really interesting lot. They put together very generous lots of China trade. If you're a China trade buyer, you should pay close attention to Freeman's. This is the kind of lot they put together. A lot of auction houses they would have made 5 lots out of this. They're doing this as a one swoop lot. And there's some nice early pieces in here dating to the late 1700s and the early 1800s. There's a nice chestnut basket here. There's a couple of memorial plates and so forth. Very, very nice. And the estimate is extremely reasonable. $800 to $1,200 for all of it. Right now, it's got 11 bidders and no bids, and the starting price is $400. And then this is another lot in that same sale on the 10th. This nice looking set of basically mugs and creamers and this sort of thing. But notice in the middle here, hold on, we'll bring this in here a little bit. There's several nice, if you're a mug buyer, the other pieces are sort of okay, but this mug in the middle is very, very attractive, as is this barrel form example on the right. And then you have a rather early blue and white thing here. That looks like it could possibly be Kung Chi. And this very nice Famille Rose Mandarin cup and saucer set from about 1820 or 1830. This is a pretty good lot. It's always good to look at lots, as you know. I always talk about them because if you buy a lot and you're a collector, you can pluck out the pieces that you really want and then sell the rest. And very often you can get back most of your money, so you end up building a collection with no outlay of capital. And you can enjoy the collection guilt-free. This lot is estimated at 8 to 12 with a $400 opening bid. It only has 8 people watching it, and the sale is on the 10th. It's coming up in just about a week from today. So if that's something that interests you, get over to Freeman's and take a look at that. And now we get into this sale. This sale just turned up. This is Alderfer's in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. They're a very good auction house. They've been around for years. I was looking at this the other day, and that night I got a call from somebody who's a Japanese collector, and he left a message. I got to call him back, and he said, "Have you seen the Alderfer sale?" So people are learning about it. But there's some very, very nice pieces of Japanese and some Chinese things in the sale too. But the Alderfer's picked up some very nice Japanese pieces, and including this, a very nice Yabu Maizan Pottery Gogo box, or as they're known, with this Millefiori decoration around the outside, and then the 100 boys pattern in the center. The interior has wisteria and birds, which is a very well-known Japanese motif. You see this fairly often on Japanese porcelain and Satsuma, the wisteria and birds. And then here you have the top with all the kids on it. There's a picture of the bottom with the signature and so forth. Nice looking piece of Satsuma. As we saw a couple of weeks ago at the Locati sale, this Satsuma did really well. So there may be some renewed interest in Satsuma. I don't know. This already has a bid at $500. It's estimated at $1,000 to $2,000 because of the signature. Yabu Maizan is very famous, and it's very good quality. It's an interesting piece. It measures, how big is this thing? Probably 4 inches. 3 3/4 inches. There it is. This is about right. The Kogos tend to be fairly small. And then over to this, there are a number of great Shibyama examples in this sale. I don't know who bought these or who owned them. Does it say? Doesn't really doesn't really say who they are. But there's about 5 or 6 outstanding Shibyama pieces in the sale. And this is silver, and then, of course, mixed with other materials, mother of pearl, inlay, agate stone, whatever they've got laying around. But the workmanship and the silver on these typically is the finest in Asia. It's finer than Chinese silver. It just is. It is superb work. And if you take a look at this is a great looking piece. And these tend to be fairly good size. I don't know how big this one is. It's 9 inches tall. It's not a little 3 or 4 inch thing. This thing's just a little under 10 inches tall. It's estimated at $2,000 to $3,000. I think it's going to go through it. It's already got 3 bids. It's up to $1,300. The sale is on the 16th of July, so you have plenty of time to look. And then there's this one. I left bids on this thing, and I got outbid almost instantly. I left a couple of thousand on it just because I thought it was wonderful. It's not gonna. I knew it wouldn't go for that, but I thought, why not participate a little bit? And it's going to end up probably at five or 6,000. I suspect. It's got 58 people watching it. This is by Yoshidi. This is a wonderful piece of Shibyama work, and it's fairly good size. It's bigger than the other one. It's 10 1/4 inches tall, but the workmanship on this, the gilded background, and the condition looks excellent all the way around. But notice the detail of the silver in the silver work. It's gem-like. This is how the really fine Japanese workshops did it, and they polished the silver to almost like it's coated with clear glass. Beautifully done, beautifully done. And the dragon details, of course, are excellent all the way around. There's one of the dragons there. Excellent work and very underappreciated, and very much undervalued in the market today because the Japanese have been out of it. And I left a bid of a couple of thousand on it, and an hour later, I think I was outbid. And then there's this very nice Okisada for Zekido Japanese Satsuma pottery sensor. All right. Now, this is a nice one. It's interesting because it has these very interesting inverted lower legs that curl under it. And then you have, of course, all the geisha scenes on top here. And then at the top, you have a spotted deer. This is a rather nice piece of Satsuma. Really, really is. Quite elegant. And it's of a decent size, as I recall, right? It's what is it, 6 inches tall? So it's not a little tiny 3 inch thing. It's 6 inches in height. It's got some nice details to it. It's already got a bid of 400. The estimate's 8 to 12. I think it'll get well into that estimate. May go over it. We'll see. But it's a beautiful example. And then there's this. This is in the sale. This appears to be a legitimate transitional period, blue and white. Based on the transitional to early Kongxi, probably transitional based on the shape of it. It looks okay from what I'm seeing. The estimate, they've got the estimate down to nothing. There's the back of it, very typical transitional period work, and they've got the little checkmark grasses down here around the bottom and so forth. But this looks okay from what I'm seeing. There's a picture of the bottom of it. That looks all right. The estimate is for nothing. The estimate's 8 to 1,200. It'll go beyond that, I suspect. But right now, it's only got 13 people watching it, but the sale isn't for another couple of weeks, so it'll get there. The starting price is $400. It measures 6 3/4 tall by 9 1/4 inches wide, so it's a pretty big piece of porcelain. And expect it to bring 3 to 5,000, somewhere in that range, maybe more. These pieces do very well in general these days, it seems. But a rather nice piece of porcelain. And then this is also in the sale. This sort of faux bois decorated brush pot with calligraphy on it. It's probably a late Qing to Republic pot, but very nicely done. The faux bois work on it's quite excellent. Almost looks like smoke coming around the calligraphy. And there's more of it here. And there's more. And the bottom of it there's a picture of the base, as I recall. There it is. And it's got an old wax seal on it, which indicates it's either late Qing or Republic also. Because they didn't put you couldn't export the pieces if they were terribly old, even back when they implemented the seal requirements. But fortunately, they left some of it on there as sort of a guide to give you some idea. Because they also made these during the earlier periods, but not often. But they made them a lot more popularly in the late Qing to Republic period. This is a very nice brush pot. The foot looks fine. The wear looks all legitimate. The decoration is very good quality. The estimate's $500 to $800, which I think is extremely reasonable, and $250 opening bid. I suspect it'll go through it should go through the estimate because Republic pieces have been doing so well lately. But you never know. You never know. All right, and that's really about it for this week. I've just run through the whole list. There's a bunch of sales coming up. If we go over here, this is my own watch list here, and what's on it. You've got the Oriental Art Sale. There's also some bag faces, and if you're a Turkoman collector, Central Asian pieces, there's a couple of pretty decent looking bags in there. There's this one in the sale that's it's unfortunately got a hole in it, but it's a nice old one. It's a nice old one. It shouldn't go for a lot of money if you want to get into collecting these things. And they have some Osmolix, these pentagonal sort of shaped bags. And then down here, you've got the Brunk sale coming up with all the pieces we talked about last week. That's coming up in 6 days. You've got some furniture. You've got more furniture. Oh, there's also a set of, if you want to see something really interesting, in the Brunk sale, they've got a couple of Blue John urns. And I don't know if you know about Blue John, but Blue John used to be mined in England, and it no longer exists. Basically, they stripped the mines out, And Blue John hasn't been mined in England now for, I don't know, almost a century, I guess. But it's extremely rare stuff. And this is a very, very damaged pair of urns. I bookmarked it because I find this stuff to be beautiful. And back when we ran auctions, we used to come across Blue John vases like this that were owned by wealthy Boston families that had summer houses up here on the North Shore. And they would bring up their Blue John and use them as table lamps and urns on their sideboards and this sort of thing. And they had been passed down to the family since the early 1800s. And so forth, because a lot of them were merchants in England and that sort of thing. And if you take a look at this thing, it's pretty much hit everything but the lottery. From when you look at it, the base is broken, the top is damaged, and all this. I mean, it is a wreck. A pair of wrecks. They would need unbelievable amounts of restoration, but they are very rare. And if you look, the estimate is 500 to 700. The sale is on July 9th, and they're already up to 1,100 with 3 bids and 35 watchers, despite their condition. So always keep your eye out for Blue John, because you never know. Occasionally you will find it in odd places, and it's important to be able to recognize it, because it's a perfect pair of Blue John lamps. If these were perfect, this set of lamps, these urns rather, would sell for probably $30,000 to $40,000. The old ones, at least. It's extremely rare stone. So I'm going to be very curious to see how these do at the end. That's why I bookmarked them. I didn't have any intention of buying them. And then there's the rest of the Brunk stuff coming up. And then we covered all of that. That's the Psych sale, which we talked about. There's the Heart auction over in Europe and Germany. It's got this transitional looking pot in it, and a few other things, but there's not a lot. For me, this is a pretty short list. Then you have the Eldred sale, which we're going to cover in person in a couple of weeks. We'll be going down there. I spoke with Josh Eldred, and we're going to be going down there to videotape and preview that China trade sale from the William Stroll collection, who was a significant donor and benefactor to the Peabody Museum. And I knew Bill very well. He was a wonderful guy. I knew him for 30 years, and he volunteered a day a week at PEM after he retired from being a doctor. And he was very close friends with a number of dealers. Polly Latham in Boston was one of his closest friends, and so forth. And he's very missed, but he had great things. He had an amazing eye, and he had an unwavering enthusiasm for the Chinese art world and China trade world, and he knew an enormous amount. He was a font of information, and he passed away, as I've said in the past. This past, I guess it was in January, he died. And it was very sad. He was in his 90s. He was no spring chicken, but he was a terrific man, and I'm sorry to see him go. We used to enjoy having him come into the shop and stuff. He was always excited about new things, all kinds of things. And they're selling off what didn't go to PBD Essex, because they have a lot of what he heard in their own collection. It's so massive. They would have been a lot of duplicates. Anything that wasn't a duplicate is being auctioned. So, and it's all gone down to Eldred's. So that's the story with that. And then you have this. Case Antiques. Oh, Case Antiques. I meant to mention this. Case Antiques. It's in August, but there's plenty of time to look at it. They have a very, very nice Rimpa School screen, and it's fairly good size. It's about 7 feet tall, but very, very attractive school. Rimpa School's a Japanese screen, twofold screen, nice looking thing. Estimated at only $700 to $800. It's already got 3 bids. The auction's a month away, and it's going to go over the 800. It'll probably bring 3,000 or 4,000, but it's a nice looking thing. Anyway, that's it for the week. Have a wonderful 4th of July. Subscribe here if you haven't yet so far. I noticed we have a lot of YouTube channels. So this happens. You end up with about a third to half of your viewers don't ever bother subscribing, yet they come back every week because YouTube gives us the algorithm information on it. It's kind of strange. If you come every week, subscribe. It helps boost the channel a little bit. Leave a comment, all that. I know a lot of people don't like to leave comments for some reason, but feel free to leave a comment. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the videos. Have a wonderful weekend. And, the Casa Psych sale. Those of you that belong to Patreon and subscribe to the global pages is it was loaded onto the global and Patreon pages yesterday. So it's all in there, and that they'll be updated again probably on Sunday, because tomorrow we're going to be jammed up around here. We're cooking lobsters tonight, and barbecue grills are coming out tomorrow, and the weather's supposed to be wonderful. Right now it's about 93 degrees here, but the house is air conditioned, so it's fine. We're, we're pretty bad about it. Even though the ocean breeze isn't too bad, the ocean temperature now is up to about 65 degrees here. So that's about as warm as it gets. It may hit 70 in a week or two if we get an easterly wind. I'll pull the Gulf Stream in a little bit, but it's not warm like it is on the outside of Cape Cod right now, which probably the water's probably 75 degrees, 80 degrees even. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you all next week. And thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.